Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Okay, ready? 3, and I'm going to say 3, 2, but don't say 1. Okay? 3, 2. Hello?
Hi, Andy.
Oh, God. I started to look on your face. Looking at your face was like, this sad, old... What is it called when you're not together? You're a hub. Am I a hub of my... No.
You're a shell. You're a shell of your former self, yes. Although not really your former self. You've always just been a shell.
Okay, you see my new... I'm taking a workshop.
You look taken aback, which is good.
Well, let me tell you something. I got very excited before the show.
Yeah.
I don't have a pencil. I don't have a pen. What if I come up with an idea? What should I do?
Same thing as always. Forget it.
And then I got very excited before the show. Hey, you can't get to me. I like these kind of people. When you say can't get to me anymore, I've reached a point where I know how to deal with you. And there are a lot of people during the pop culture psychology days who would do that. I'm in therapy, and I feel it's best to tell you, you should not bother me at all. I need to be separate from you. I'm not saying exactly right, but boundaries and things like that. So I realized before the show that if you keep this going, and I'm not saying it has to be a tradition, and we started 3 minutes late, but if you hang up on me in 50 minutes, that will be 3 sessions a week that end at exactly 50 minutes. Now Stephanie does not hang up on me.
You could do a lot of undoing with that.
Yeah, she's not a jokester. She's not a prankster that way.
Well, I've learned that we tend to go over on the letters part of the show. So that leaving early is always an option in hour 1.
I'm just saying.
And it keeps you on your toes.
That's true. It does, because a lot of times I think, hey, I've got 2 hours today. I can do whatever I want. The first hour is usually a little slow. But the second hour, when I seem to find more food in my mouth, and we notice that my beard looks really bad, things start to perk up.
I think whatever it is you're calling a beard has not qualified.
It's not a beard. I know it's just but it's not good looking. Did you have a doggy right on your microphone? I see doggy hairs.
There's often dog hairs in any surface in this house.
So cute. That's the type of thing that will keep us.
It just means my microphone hit the ground at some point.
Oh my God!
There, is that better?
Thank you. You know I have OCD, so
I do.
Good morning, Josh.
Good
Elvis.
Morning.
Weinstein.
Good morning.
You look finished.
Andy, David, Kindler.
Yeah, I'm going to do what how they used on one of the first trips that Susan and I took to Ireland. Is it pronounced Ireland?
If you want to get punched there.
And it was early on in our relationship. And you could say that you could call someone like me a complainer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She'd never gone anywhere with me that far and seen me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what day it was, and I had to perform. I had to perform tomorrow. And
where were you performing in Ireland?
Oh, for that Kilkenny festival, which was, I did that a couple of times, twice, and maybe 3, twice. It was, you bombed, but it was fun.
Right.
But I bombed, and it was fun. So it was early enough in the relationship that Susan did not find this personality charming at all.
Yeah.
I've been sick. Well, what's wrong? I don't know. I think I'm over here. I could die right now. Do you care if I die right now? So anyway, one of the best memories of it was we were staying in this place, the Butler House in Kilkenny, and they have one of those, people at the front desk that you hope is real. An Irish fella who's in charge of everything, and he's very calming. So Susan walks down. He had seen I was like, sweating or whatever. He goes, "And how is the man this morning?"
Which was generous.
That is very generous. And how is the man this morning? And yeah, it really was. It was like, this guy's actually saying I'm saying I'm in the same category as him, like an adult man.
Right.
How is the man this morning?
I have to say I'm kind of proud of myself for the 3 bad Kilkenny jokes I didn't make along the way.
One of them would be South Park?
We went for the Kilkenny Festival. Came back the next year for the Mornkenny Festival.
Right, but I want you to know that this Kilkenny predates, I know you're not going to believe this, it predates South Park.
Really?
Yeah, and it's
Really?
got, I think it does because it has castles and stuff.
Ah, okay. So at least 10 years.
Yeah, it's not a takeoff on. I know that's your favorite show. All right, don't get me started on that.
I had even eschewed the South Park jokes. I was going for a whole different echelon.
Ah. Do you know that South Park is still being made?
I do, yeah.
So they've been, it's like 42 years since the first South Park.
All right.
And they're still going, hey, shut up, stupid. Shut up. Shut up.
You think they should change formats?
I don't know. I'm not saying, and I don't say this in any way to degrade them, denigrate them, derogate them.
No.
I kill
Number
myself.
two is correct. Number two.
I kill myself if I was in their shoes.
Why?
I would just jump out of a building.
Why?
And the reason why I would, because someone would come in and go, you've done this for 40 years. Hey, fuckface, I'm talking to you. Hey, wait a second. I'm getting an edit. We're getting a celebrity to play Rock Hudson or whatever the hell they do on that show.
Is it the Flintstones you're thinking of? Stoney Curtis? Is this maybe what you're thinking of?
A show itself that stole from every goddamn show and was a ripoff. The Flintstones. Oh, we can't? Oh, he doesn't want us to do the Honeymooners. Okay, make up your mind. Can we not steal your entire persona and recreate him in a cartoon? Or you want?
You're mad about the Flintstones?
No. You're right. I was getting upset, so forget that. So, I mean, I kind of think that Jackie Gleason had a point. If I woke up tomorrow and you're a Jew, fuckface, was the number one cartoon. Jackie Gleason wasn't happy with it. Hey, Ralphie. Hey, Barney. Hey, Ralphie. Hey, Barney. No, that's the wrong one. All right, just can't you take anything? Can't you take a hint?
I thought I might have headed it off with "You're mad about the Flintstones," but no,
yeah, try. No, but you know what? Because I have a condition. I watched this a movie, and I suggest you watch it too.
Yeah.
Because it's a depiction of the common man. It's what's happening today in our society. What's wrong with it? In the most obvious ways, but it still was interesting to watch. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's that one where the guy's kills somebody with a hatchet, and he goes on Jimmy Kimmel. He supposedly saved somebody's life and kills them with a hatchet while they were getting, and he did, I guess, save someone's life, but then it turns out that he's a killer and he kills people too. And to just see the person who used to produce for the Kardashians go from, yeah, it sounds great, we wanted to do a show with him, it's very charming, to, I don't know what the hell, how did this happen? How did this get out of control?
What's amazing to me is how you can describe something so poorly and yet spoil it.
Were you going to watch that one?
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck it is. But once I start watching it, I know he's going
to. Think. I used to hate when people say this. Think Carrot Top if he did 4 or 5 prop jokes and then just hit someone in the head with a hatchet.
Yeah.
So this guy got very famous from saving this person's life, but then they just thought like, oh, okay, well, we'll fly him out. What does he want? He's like, they're already treating him like that. What does he want? We'll fly him out. We'll put him up. The Jimmy Kimmel's with him. Yeah. And then the other people are with him. And then he ends up killing some people. And no one seems surprised by it. Why is this not happening every day? This shouldn't even be a movie. And then the guy from Kimmel, his job is to find strange acts for Kimmel. He's in this thing.
Okay.
So he's like, it's great. So I go, blah, 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 blah. It bites me in the ass. In other words, everyone is just so surprised that this thing has bit them in the ass.
Yeah.
Because I think they're thinking of Ross the intern, maybe. What are they thinking about?
I don't know. I'm really...
Ross the intern.
I'm white-knuckling it through this whole thing.
You know who Ross the intern is, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you know the histories of Ross from interns and Stuttering John? And they're always trying to get a character from a show, give him his own show. Well, that's one thing if it's Howard Stern and his wacky band of people. But now this guy's a murderer. He's an actual murderer. And you're going, what's happening? He's not happy with the hotel room. He's peeing on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That kind of thing. So I actually enjoyed the documentary because there's this one guy who's the newsman who originally discovered him. And he is the only person who seems actually crushed and sincere about, he did not see it coming. He really did see it as a human interest story. And the guy was cracking him up. And then he felt bad when the guy turned into a murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's this called? Do you know what it's called?
Of course I know what it's called. It's called It's like something like the hatchet killer, something like that. Okay. The hatchet killer who chopped up people's face.
Gotcha. Not to be confused with the Lizzie Borden story.
No, the Lizzie Borden story. See, when you're talking about that, you have to. You're talking about somebody. Do they know all the facts on that, or is that like a Jack the Ripper thing?
Well, they have a poem at least to sum up the facts.
That Lizzie Borden wrote?
Yeah, that was her confession. I took an axe and gave my parents 40 whacks.
Oh, and then when I was done, I gave them another 41, something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Is she the only poet murderer that you know of?
I don't think so. I think Ted Kaczynski achieved poetry within the manifesto. Every
time I think of Ted Kaczynski, I think of it that would be a name that my father would make up to be a joke name. Hey,
it is
Harry Kaczynski.
Yes.
Did your dad like to say Ginsburg?
Who was on the phone? Ted Kaczynski.
And in that case, the wife said, I think your brother is a horrible human being. And the guy just couldn't see it from his wonderful upbringing. I don't know why I'm talking. I don't mean to be flip about this because I do watch these shows.
Yeah, but the thing about the Unabomber is he only killed like 3 people over 18 years. He wasn't particularly efficient at his job.
He wasn't particularly efficient. And by the way, I'm angry. You know what I'm angling for? I'm angling for one of those murder mystery shows. When I heard that Karen Kilgariff split $100 million, I was like, what are we not doing? That we could at least get split $20 million.
Well, she doesn't keep doing last week's show, for example.
Oh. You know, several times since I've heard this news, I think about Karen, like how she would spend the $50 million.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Commission.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know what I would do. I would definitely move away from Burbank. I would get out of Burbank, whoever she is. And I would go, you got to go to like one of those crazy houses in the hills or something. You know what I do?
What?
Build the studio. I've made $100 million on Thought Spiral, right?
Okay, sure.
Josh, can you believe it? Are you psyched?
I am.
Yes. Okay, so what are you going to do? I'm going to buy a crazy murder house like that was on Cielo Drive. What are you going to do?
I'm going to recarpet.
See, that's the thing. And that will be the story, much like Abbott and Costello, but not with so many twists and turns. Did Abbott die first or did Costello die first? Did Abbott die first or did Costello die first? That was supposed to be. There's a good movie. I think it's Laurel and Hardy.
Who died first? I don't know.
I understand that he's dead.
I'm asking.
There was a good movie, and I think it may have been. I mean, he's in every movie. John C. Reilly.
Uh-huh.
But was it Laurel and Hardy that looked pretty good?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
And you did see it.
I did see it.
Yeah, that was nice because it made it seem like those guys had a real relationship, as opposed to. I'm not going on the thing. You're going on the thing. Not going on the thing. They seem to have but I'm not trying to put Abbott and Costello down. I'm just saying they were more of an act. Whereas Laurel and Hardy were.
Well, yeah. I mean, that is the difference is that Abbott and Costello were a vaudeville act and Laurel and Hardy were put together for the screen.
And come on, Stan Laurel, he didn't know when he was doing what he was doing that making these small movements would be so perfect. But
what do you mean he didn't know?
He knew from seeing it.
It's like saying you don't know why you're funny.
Okay, here's the thing. In 1916 or 15, no one's going to go, you know that Stan Laurel guy, I think he's going to be great in the movies. There were no movies. So he's learning about the movies like anybody else.
Right. But he learned that smaller is better very quickly, I'm sure, by watching it.
That's the difference between him and me. Have you seen The Fabelmans?
I have not. Have you?
What you're going to though?
Maybe. Have you?
Well, it's about Steven Spielberg's life, isn't it?
I know.
What's it about? Tell me, please.
It's about his fucking life, and I've seen a documentary, and that's all I need to know.
Is this his last name, Fabelman?
Yes, Andy.
Okay.
He changed it from Fabelman to Spielberg.
I'm getting the feeling that this movie, if we can't get... Here's what I got from the Golden Globes. I almost got... it's not the walking pneumonia. It's COVID. I almost got a case of COVID.
Right.
And...
from just watching the Golden Globes. It had nothing to do with hacks.
No, I learned about the Golden Globes. The more I look back on it, well, I loved the host, but Carmichael. But I think it is the Golden Globes like hosted by the People's Choice Award. Something is rigged. It's horribly rigged because the categories are purposely. You could never fit those two things. Best movie, show, shoe, face that recurs on a thing.
Right.
They're making up their own awards. You will never see any of those people.
Well, yes, they are making up their own awards.
Right, but that's different than the Academy Awards, which also sucks. But it's still.
But they also made up their own awards. They just stuck with them for
their awards suck too. Their awards suck too.
They do. Really do. They absolutely do.
But they don't do something like best movie and or musical in a comedy style with food. And then it's always by the people whose studios produced it. Okay, now this made me very sad. That's sad, but maybe go, okay, Andy, you make some bad review of Abbott Elementary. Now I can't come around and be a champion of the show now. Everybody knows I was slamming it. And that's the best show on TV, they're saying. Yeah. Have you watched it?
I have not still.
Why not?
Because I don't like sitcoms.
How is everything at your house? You had a terrible thing. Well, we don't have to talk about it.
We talked about it already.
All right, but no one saw your. Did you show your? Did you put that on Instagram?
No, I did not.
But you showed me, and he did the work himself. When he told me he was going to take out all the drywalls and down to the studs, I said, Josh, you mean someone's going to do it? And he goes, no, for once, I'm goddamn doing it. So sick of these fucking idiots.
Right.
Aren't we those kind of guys? What asshole are you going to get going? Oh, you're going to get the metal mesh gutter guy again? Yes, Mr. Weinstein. What you need, I don't know what country he's from. You need concrete gutters.
Yeah.
You need concrete. The problem with your gutters right now, too soft. I was a salesman. I could have sold you on those gutters.
Sure.
You realize in a different lifetime, in a different thing, I would have been knocking on your door. You would have been living in Buena Park or Cerritos. Uh-huh. Can you see that in another lifetime?
I don't, because I wouldn't have moved to California to live in Cerritos.
Yes, you would have, because it was the 80s, and there was all this Reagan money. So you would have been working for McDonnell Douglas, or maybe you would have working for TRW. You don't even know 15. What TRW. What's that?
I do know what TRW is.
Yeah, of course you do. But the thing is, I think like I'm better than you because I'm older and lived here when TRW was here. Uh-huh. How does that make me better than you?
I don't know. It's not landing in terms of making. Okay. In terms of diminishing me, I'm still not feeling it.
Okay. How about if I said to you, Costco used to be Gemco? I don't even know if that's right.
No, don't care. Don't care.
Do you remember Gemco?
No.
Okay. Is there anything like charming about LA? And I'm talking about in the area of like Cal Worthington. Uh-huh. Something like that you could say, I came out here in the 80s, and as soon as I saw Sit and Sleep, I was like, this is a funny town.
No, because Minnesota had its own share of local, your local yokel things. It's nice to see what a different local yokel looks like, for sure.
That's true. That is true. Also, I enjoyed the football this weekend. I know it's boring when we talk about it, but I was telling Susan there are 3 most exciting days of football. 3 of them. We have the first one is the wild card, and this year, super wild card, because that's the most games you're ever going to see that you care about. And then even by the end of the weekend, I was a little sick of it.
All right.
Then last week, second best. 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. I even got excited about the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
Because and I am excited about San Francisco.
Good.
And I related. Here's the thing. I am B. Maher. I am Brett Maher.
Yeah.
We are all Brett Maher. Because if you don't look, maybe you don't relate, but I relate to a guy who's like a hamana. I've missed 7 of this. I only have to get. This is the easiest thing they claim to do in sports. I know it's not.
He got blocked yesterday for his first extra point. Did he miss another one after that? I know he hit a couple of field goals. And he's referring to a kicker for the Cowboys who missed 4 extra point kicks last week. So
here's what happens. He kicks it. The ball gets blocked. But the only reason why it got blocked by a guy on the sidelines.
Yeah, it was not going to go well. No.
And then he came through with 2 field goals.
That's great. I'm glad you got.
So I felt good because I don't like Dallas. I know you love them, but I've never been a big Dallas fan. No. I like the players, but there's something about the coach. Not the coach, the owner. I seem to remember him standing with either George Wallace or someone of that ilk in a black and white photo,
jeering black students. Yes.
Yes, jeering black students. He just happened.
But you didn't know that until a month ago.
No, but I knew he was an asshole years before that. He's been an asshole forever, Jerry Jones.
You're quite a visionary there.
Yes. Well, you may be surprised to know this, or you may not care. I go with the latter. But when I was a kid, I loved Tom Landry because I saw him first time. I was like,
because he had a hat.
He wore a hat. I was like, and he was also quiet. Who knew that Tom Landry was probably an asshole? And I loved Bob Hayes because he was an Olympics runner turned receiver. So there were things about, and Nozawa, of the great Sushi Nozawa, when he first came here, he became a Dallas Cowboy. He doesn't know anything about football. He just loved Dallas, America's team. So there's a lot to like about them. Also, Dandy Don Meredith was on the. Did you know that he didn't win any? That he never won a Super Bowl? Did you know that Joe Namath went to Alabama? And it was Bear Bryant. This is going to be me 5 years from now.
No, it's not. It's you today.
No, shuttling people out of my room on the last day. Just whatever you do, don't get him started on sports. There I was. Game 4 of the World Series. Why is it? I don't usually see pure delight in your eyes, but I just saw pure delight in your eyes at the image of me at the home.
Yes. Telling these stories to no one.
Well, I want to end up at the home so I can say if I'm having a bad meal at Brent's, look, Josh Minkowitz, I got to get back to the home. We're never going to have a bad meal. I'm very worried about our future meals out.
Yeah.
I did your thing, which was like, remember you said this 4 years or 5 years, it's over. We're good. Take the masks off. And what do? I go to one gig and I almost get killed, sick. I'm not dining out with people.
Yeah.
And I'll be dining out on this story.
Let me just say you weren't the least bit cautious when we did the Howie Mandel hologram thing too.
No, I thought we were on the other side of I thought if it's celebrities in a room, right, then they shouldn't have any COVID.
Sure. That's how it worked with hacks.
I dodged a bullet.
You did?
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm never going to get on a plane or do anything. It's going to make me more hesitant now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry. I don't want to get it, Josh.
I understand.
And I'm going to be one of the 3 people never to have gotten it.
I hope so. No, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it.
I don't know that song.
That's okay.
But can you tell me what it is?
I think it was En Vogue.
I think I do remember that now. A lot of people thought they were in vogue, but they were not. They were en vogue.
Correct.
Oh God, I thought I was started off well, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, are we past storms? Is everything fixed in your house, or not necessarily? We don't know.
Nothing is really fixed in my house. No,
you can't have anything fixed.
It's on track to happen this week.
Okay, Southern California. I never thought of this when I was living on the East Coast, that if it does rain 2 or 3 days in a row, You may have to move out. You may have to get earthquake insurance.
All right. Did you feel our little quake the other day?
No, I saw you bickering with someone about it.
Yeah.
It was a 2.75.
Was it?
Or something.
I think it was like smaller than that even, like a 2.3.
Well,
but it was centered like here in Sherman Oaks.
And you felt it. How
did.
come I didn't feel it?
It was very quick.
What time of day was it?
Very quick little jolt. I think it was early afternoon or late morning.
Yeah. The thing I love about it is we were both here for the 94 quake. So the thing that's nice about it, it's nice to know that it will never be a terrible quake like that. There's going to be this short jolters, what we call jolters.
Right.
We will live to ripe old age.
Because a big earthquake just means the earth just healed itself.
No, that's exactly right. It's like these people who live next to the lava generators.
Right.
People say don't live next to a lava generator. I say, when was the last time it blew? She blew. That's a technical word.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise,
like a lava generator.
Lava generator. I would live like right on a pile of molten lava that had dried.
You know what they say? Igneous is bliss.
What did they say?
Igneous is bliss.
I missed it. I hear that's igneous, but you're talking about a guy who doesn't listen very well, and now you're going to try and go with igneous rocks. Luckily, I went on Teenage Book Talk and demonstrated my vast knowledge of rock. Is that geology?
You know what? A little fake laugh would have been fine instead of a fucking narcissistic off-ramp.
I don't think the way you're supposed to deal with a narcissistic person is what you're doing.
I think
what you're doing is counterproductive.
I want to shake you.
That's not nice because you'd be one of those people. Maybe someone like you shook me when I was a small child.
Maybe.
I am drinking iced coffee today.
Are you? That's why the glass container.
This is what's that?
That's why the glass container.
Hence, you mean? Could you please say hence?
No.
Okay.
No one says hence. It's the stupidest thing. The worst thing you could do is use the word hence, especially
what? How about the name of an album? No? Because it doesn't have a good ring?
No.
Okay, I'm going to tell you some free things you can get now, Josh. And I'm starting to turn around on this. You know, I never was a big fan of Amazon until I found out that my Amazon Prime gets you. I have Amazon Music and Apple Music now because it's cheaper to have it than not have it. So unless I was really going to, for the rest of my life, make a point, I'm on the other side now. Now I can do my own karaoke with Apple songs.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, using them as bumpers. You mean my singing lessons will be now the bumpers of the show, whereas I sing, what would be a song that you wouldn't like? Someone left the cake out in the rain, and I can't boom, 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 boom. I'm worried that I'm going to become a crooner.
Are you?
Not really. Not really. But it's only been a couple of years since I've been a professional singer.
Yeah.
This is what happens, when people are... What's my condition again?
Free association?
No. What do I have? It's some form of narcissism.
Yeah, malignant?
No, you don't want that. That you don't want. If you know anybody in your life who's that, don't get that close to them. Or don't do like Jimmy Kimmel did. This guy is crazy. Our first guest tonight, saved a man's life by hitting another guy with a hatchet over the head. Let's please welcome, I don't remember his name. I think he changed his name. He was not Kai Rizdal, your favorite.
No. I don't know. You're looking at me like I'm going to come up with the name of the fucking hatch burger.
No, what you caught me looking at you saw what my in-between talking face is, which is, please save me. I'm all alone in my body here. Now, can you tell me how you're feeling? This is a new year.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling? I've been still walking up a storm, but then I had a little pain in my knee, so I took a day off.
Yeah. Smart, I think.
And I don't know, do you ever get water on your knee? I don't know if I've never gotten it, but it just made me think like, oh, I don't want that.
Right. You don't. It's painful.
You've had that.
I've had fluid in my knee before because I had a cracked kneecap when I was a kid.
Okay, I'm okay now.
All right.
I don't want that because now I'm made of steel now from my walking regimen.
Sure.
I'm like a steel, like you can't even there's no way to pierce my. I mean, like I'll live to forever and I'm eat well.
Good.
I'm a really.
That's what I want for you.
Here's malignant narcissism. You ready for a dose?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how you feel, Josh, but I wouldn't want anything to ever affect the way I walk and things like that. Like total non-knowledge of what you've gone through.
Right.
If anything ever happened where I wouldn't be able to walk my 3 miles, I would jump out of a window. You don't know about that. What is that called? Just
obliviousness, probably.
Obliviousness. Yeah. That's right. It's obliviousness. Or look up obliviousness.
Or genuinely hostile. It could also be that.
No, I don't think so. I think no, not me. Not me. I may have problems. I may have issues. Yeah. I may have difficulties.
Sure.
But I always come from love.
That's one of your issues, is you think that.
Yes. I'm glad that I'm not that type of person. I think a type of person who thinks they figured it out is really the most dangerous kind of person.
Say that again?
A person who's kind of figured it out. You know, like cults are started that way. But people will go, you're not getting it. I get it. And I'm not saying I'm God, but if you followed me, you're going to get to God soon.
Right.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. I think if you think you've got it, just be quiet.
Yeah. There's no way to...
Because I truly think that's part of getting it.
True. That's why the Dalai Lama is self-deprecating.
Yes.
And Richard Gere is not. The Dalai Lama, the guy, Stuttering John, is asking... And I call him Stuttering John because that's just his name. I don't agree with the antics of the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
But he asked the Dalai Lama, do you ever say, hello, Dolly? And the Dalai Lama was laughing and laughing. And Richard Gere was... So I say, Richard Gere is not really getting the message. That's just one. That's now I feel better than Richard Gere. I feel spiritualized more than Richard Gere.
That's fair.
It is fair. Well, it's quite a year to look forward to, Josh. Josh.
Yeah, I
got nothing. I really got nothing. Okay. But I don't want to. I'm not saying and I'm not even saying you're going to say this because this is the way you operate.
All right. No,
you're going to sabotage me.
I'm not sabotaging you because that sabotages me. That's that. You know, what hurts you hurts me in this show.
Oh, that's
and
good.
It hurts me twice because I have to fix it later.
Let's talk about hobbies and interests, if that type of thing.
Yeah, my hobby this week is home repair.
But is this week less stressful than last week? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, anytime it's not raining, I feel better right now. And then in another week or two, when it rains, I'll feel great.
Because it'll be fixed.
Yeah.
And is it all? Is there anything that they've found?
No.
Have you found something?
No, I mean I had one sort of termite beam that or 2x4 that we're going to take out before we put in a new window. But
man, you are.
That's the thing that's going to hold up this whole thing is new windows.
That's what yes.
That takes.
You need
months.
new windows in the bedroom.
Well, since my walls ripped apart, I'm thinking it's time. I mean, I have all original windows on the house, so.
So you have no double pane situation.
I do not have a double pane situation.
That's going to be nice.
It will be nice, but it'll be expensive and time consuming.
Jews talking about construction. Jews. No, I mean, you have to get, it's going to be a brand new world for you, my friend.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You know, there's so many things you can do. You can have the one pane going to the left and the other pane going to the right.
Doctor, I have one pane going to my left and one pane going to my right.
What do? Every time I do it.
Don't go like this.
I have gotten very much healthier on political issues. I'm very proud of myself.
Are you healthier in your consideration of them, or are you just healthier because you've avoided them?
No, I mean I'm very clearly. I don't want to see 1 second about Biden's. I don't care if they find here's the thing. If you've lived your entire life and been basically an honest person, you don't get to say, oh, I think Biden killed somebody. Oh, I think Biden's now doing this. So unless there's just no story here. There's no story here except that someone fucked up or someone ruined something. It is uninteresting. I couldn't care less. If you watch the news and they go drip, 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 they're usually in the drip, drip, drip thing that they use with Hillary Clinton's emails. How could the press, after all these years, use the thing that proved that the press was irresponsible? They pretended like Hillary Clinton's emails was a real problem. It wasn't a real problem. I don't even know ultimately what she did wrong, except the same stuff that they're finding out about Biden.
But you're willing to declare that she did nothing wrong without knowing this. You.
No, what I'm saying is I have no interest in anything that they're saying about what she did wrong because going into that, I had 30 years of them putting her down. At some point, someone gets some street cred that no, the Clintons are not going to have a pizza bar in their, murder people in their basement. And so, no, I don't think that she was up to no good because she had some stupid private server. No. And Andrea Mitchell, people like that, they're up to no good because they make they're vultures. They make their whole career in both siding everything. I'm not saying Hillary Clinton has no problems.
Right.
But the server in her house was not one of them, to the degree that you had all these people on MSNBC. I mean, they really did help Trump get elected, I think.
Well, I think Comey did primarily. Mm-hmm. I mean, Comey was the one who decided, I'm going to announce this, thereby making it a story.
He couldn't have made it even worse. He did it
because it is, once he announces it, it is a story.
And this is before even the thing 3 days before the election.
Yeah.
He had announced it like a month or two before that, because they always were criticizing him. Why did you have a news conference to say why you weren't going to charge her with anything?
Right.
Yeah. And now, I'm not even comparing the thing that I watched today on the Jimmy Kimmel thing, but there is this general feeling like there's a show business aspect to it that the danger, it's like, in other words, everyone hates Hillary Clinton. I'm just saying this as a fact. Right. I don't hate her. But most people hate her. Most people I know hate her. Most people, not most people, most men, I would say. I don't hate her. And I think that she was a victim of all those kind of things that they say about women. Oh, she's mean, she's angry, with all those things. But they absolutely did ruin her. I mean, they succeeded in ruining her. Like the media succeeded in ruining her, and the way I know I sound like what do I sound like?
I don't know.
Conspiracy guy who's like, obviously we all know the media sucks, but it's just driven home to you when I'm watching this thing when I was watching this thing with Kimmel, I was like, I think I would have the intelligence. Maybe I wouldn't. I think I'd have the intelligence. No, you don't put the hatchet guy on the show. But maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would be. I could see how, from this guy's point of view at the Kimmel show, that's his job is to get acts that are interesting.
Right.
And so no one's thinking, is this guy going to kill somebody because you're so excited about the show business angle of it?
Right.
Well,
I mean, I don't really know the whole story because you told it so poorly, but yeah.
But do you really think you won't? I think you'll watch it now.
I don't know.
Are you watching anything? I'm ready. I'm watching White Lotus. I'm on the second episode of that. Excellent. I'm enjoying it. Did you watch it?
I have not. No. I really just don't get into series lately.
That makes sense.
I almost always will not pull the trigger on a series, but
because you have to binge it almost.
Yeah, and I just it's too many loose threads.
How about Ozark? I've done Ozark.
I've never watched Ozark. I bet I'd like it.
How about Barry? I haven't done Barry.
I have watched Barry. Okay. But that's one of those things when it's episodic TV and I can catch it a week at a time. I can handle.
So do you have several shows you've done that with, like Barry and
Barry is one, yeah.
Yeah.
I did it with Better Call Saul. I did it with.
Oh yeah. I loved that that show. Was it not Succession? The Severance show.
Yeah,
I binged that one.
Also,
oddball shows are good to binge.
Yeah, it's not that I think TV is bad. It's just that
Is it the commercials that bother
it's
you?
the commercials that get me.
I feel differently. I like the commercials.
That's weird because you don't represent it that way usually.
Well, that's because I love them so much that I get very upset.
I understand.
Like I'm the American. Like I told you, I love those air conditioning, all American air conditioning thing.
Sure.
Those two guys.
Deeper Todd.
How's that?
Deeper, Todd.
Here?
A little further.
When they did this bit where he is obviously something has happened to him where dirt got on him.
He was
from a
cleaning
pipe.
dirt.
Right, and so there's a only area that's not covered is the area that he had his goggles. I don't know what the joke is exactly, but the joke is, look, he's got a whole furnace of garbage on him.
Uh-huh.
And the other guy's like, come on. You know, this national campaign, which is one of the most successful American air conditioning campaigns in the history of the world, are all because this one guy finds the other guy funny.
Uh-huh.
He's not that funny, the other guy. What do you think of him?
It's pretty weak.
Ow, it's not TV, not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV, not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
Oh, here's the other thing.
Okay.
You want to know what else is bothering me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think this should disgust anybody who feels any kind of reaction to the. You can't just make every show that was made now. You can't come up with Quantum Leap. You can't do Night Court. You can't just do this. I'm not going to watch these shitty shows. I'm not going to watch John Larroquette because you think you have no ideas to come up with that you're going to shove Night Court down our throat again. These people he's 85.
Yeah. I watched the first couple of Night Courts because they put them on together.
What'd you think?
Absolutely horrible. But it's not, it's like, I don't know that you could do it well, honestly. It just feels so fucking stale and old, the multi-camera.
He's not an appealing guy. You want to,
but
as
it's
the head
all
of a,
just so, I mean, just as comedy, it's just so fucking stand and deliver, It's just like, it just feels old.
And here's the thing. When he first came out on whatever the show he did that character on, he was great. Everyone liked it,
Night
right?
Court is what you're talking about.
Oh, that was his show? I thought he was also the asshole on another show or something like that. Like just the asshole. Or maybe I'm mixing him up with Dabney Coleman. But the thing is, it doesn't wear well when you want to make that the head of the show. It doesn't wear well, that personality.
Right. But they've changed his character.
Oh, is he the consultant of the other guy?
Well,
is he like Welcome Back, Kotter?
They switched it so he was the prosecutor on Night Court, and now he's the defense attorney. So,
and also, I look at the judge. She's smiling. She seems to be enjoying the show.
She's the daughter of Harry Anderson's character, because that's how it works usually.
Wait, but she's not really Harry Anderson's daughter, right?
No, she's not.
So you're saying in real life courts, it often is like a legacy. Oh, you're talking about like the Murtaughs.
Right.
The Murtaughs. That's coming now. The Murtaugh trial, thank God, is finally here because it is the craziest trial, and it is just insane. And I don't know what, I'll never, for the rest of my life, I just keep hearing, they've been very much killed, ma'am. Oh, no, ma'am. He's reacting to...
I don't even know what the Murtaugh trial is.
Oh, okay. Forget it. Murdoch. You pronounce it Murdoch, even though
Murdoch.
It's pronounced...
Okay.
Yes, it's pronounced Murtaugh. You do know what it is.
I do now, a little more.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the Murtaugh trial is. I swear
But he said, my wife and my child... And I'm not making fun of death and killing and murder. That's not where I'm coming from. But after you've heard 70 or 80 times, a guy after... There's terrible killing over here. No, ma'am. This no, ma'am. I see right through that kind of thing. That fakey. I'm sure this guy didn't murder anyone. He's being very, very polite.
Right. But if you're Southern, that's just there.
Yeah. That's no, ma'am. Also, I've listened to these other calls 50 times, which is the call when the woman, the housekeeper, passes away, and the Murdoch finally is so mean on the phone because they're just calling. This woman, they're calling to say, our housekeeper's dead. And they keep 9/11 or whatever they call it.
Come back, Andy. Come back.
There's this very annoying thing that 911 does in this particular case and in other cases where they keep asking questions about the thing that the person's reporting, and the person keeps going, the person's dying right now. And then they go, and then they go, ma'am, we sent somebody the first second of this call. We sent someone. They're on their way.
Yes.
Now we have to have an unpleasant discussion because you're either hiding the murder you just committed. And so I've heard this a million times where they're like, how old is she? Who cares how old she is? She's dead. That kind of thing.
Right.
How long she worked for you? Who the fuck? She's on the floor now.
Right. Like they're just doing idle chit chat.
And then the 911, is it 911 or is it 911?
Well, they both will get you there.
Susan just said from another part of the house, oh, come on. That's what she's reacting to me. Oh, come on.
Tell her she's my soulmate.
You're his soulmate. Is this what triangulation is called? Susan, it's a character people love. It's a dumb guy. It's a very beloved character, isn't it?
I think so. People buy cameos and shit.
Oh, man. I raised my price to $250 a cameo. And at first I thought, oh, it's going to slow down. So I said, look, I'm not kidding you, $500 a cameo. And then it's just a waiting game.
All right. I'm going to close the show, since we got to cameo. I'm going to close the show with a letter that we got this week about your cameos. Cool. Dear Andy and Josh, my name is Lori Berkowitz. My friend Ryan Blackstock has gifted me with 3 cameos from Andy, and they have meant so much to me. I am a year and a day older than Andy. Andy, thank you for the laughter I get from your cameos. They have really helped me through a rough day or week many times. I lost my beloved husband and my amazing dad, a gifted humanist therapist, I'm okay, you're okay, within 6 weeks of each other last summer. I have always wanted to let Andy know that I extend my deepest sympathies to him on the loss of his sister and mother. May their memories be a blessing. Now my question is, Andy and Josh, what are the 6 most important Yiddish words I should teach Ryan? 3 each. I've taught him beschert, schmutz, hocking, schlock. He is enjoying speaking Yiddish in his vocabulary. I love Thought Spiral and am binge listening to the past episodes, sending love and appreciation. Lori. All right.
Oh, that is so nice. I know this, and I remember talking to her because her father, I know a little bit about transactional analysis. Her father was involved in some of that kind of therapy.
Okay.
So, did we say, but thank you very much. That really means a lot to me. That's a very cool thing. Did she say schwitz?
She said schmutz.
Okay, schwitz.
Schwitz, which means sweating, to sweat.
You have to be, you can go with schmuck, you can go with schmeckel.
Okay.
But you have to have a penis word in there.
Right.
That could be double entendre.
Right.
You're a penis, but you have also, and schmata. I love schmata, but that's not the 3 major words.
It doesn't matter. It's just 3 that they need to work.
Okay, schmata,
All
which
right.
is like a
and
shirt.
You took a couple off my list. You took a couple off my table, so now I'm hurting. I would, Kanahora.
Oh, that was that, and that means
no
like
evil eye. Like,
right.
My family is healthy, Kanahora.
Yes.
Let's see, schmooze is pretty.
Schmooze is great.
And nosh.
Nosh is great. but the thing is, don't be a putz, everybody.
Right.
Everybody knows not to be a putz. And shtick dreck, that's not good. Don't stay away from shtick dreck, because I think that means piece of shit.
Right.
I don't want him to learn those. Well, they're all dirty words. All the Yiddish does. Not dirty, but they sound like something is off.
Yeah. They mean harm a lot of the time.
I'm feeling so good right now that nothing could make me feel bad. That was such a wonderful letter. I cannot imagine anything.
All right, I'll take the bait.
We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
morning, I must say. Where did I get? I can't get rid of my egg Grimly.
You really do have a Grimly going today.
It's been going all week. I guess I should use some product. I don't hear any pounding.
No pounding yet. I think.
Okay, when do they start?
I think we'll probably have a post-lunch pounding party.
That would be good for us, selfishly.
Yeah, it could all fall apart at any moment. I warn you. But for now.
Yeah, but some of if it was just a periodic, it could be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like to name drop Zach Galifianakis. I don't like to do that, right?
No, because it's hard to pronounce.
Right. That's a good one. We once, Susan, we were all on, I think we were on like pot cookies or something. We were all high.
Sure.
And so we taped me and Zach. So Susan and Zach had cameras, so we taped ourselves being funny was the idea, right?
Okay, that always works out well.
If I had the Grimly, I would have had. And I'm not lying to you. It was the day that his roommate was moving out of his house. So, are we okay?
Yeah.
Oh, so every 5 seconds you hear the tape of boxes, like taping boxes, literally every 5 seconds. I mean, I don't know what that sounds like exactly.
Right.
And it's not like it goes on and stops. It goes on throughout. If you think it's like if my dinner with Andre was marred
was
by
in a warehouse.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say things just got real yesterday with me. I know there's a lot of things in the world there are things happening in the world that I'm not going to talk about. That's my feeling about it.
Okay.
And so I've even poisoned it just to say we're not talking about it. And you probably have to cut this part out.
So you're gonna break tradition and talk about yourself.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Thank you. Instead of the world problems.
Sure.
We can't solve those.
No.
Okay.
Not in an hour.
Don't even. You know how long it takes to solve my problems, Josh? 293 episodes and counting.
Way to know the number.
Only because I just recently did it. I said send in by now. Okay, so I go online. I say, where's my Adderall? I haven't seen my Adderall, I says to myself.
Yeah.
And my psychiatrist ordered it, on January 17th. So I go online, and here's the way CVS tells me. Order canceled.
Same shit happened to me with them.
Hey, but not. Do you think that you know how many times they send me either text or emails?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Nothing. It was
nothing.
It was on hold.
Canceled.
It was on hold for a while. Mine was, and then just gone. Luckily, I still have. I don't
stash, right?
I have my stash because I don't ever. I don't.
You don't have.
I don't use it habitually. I use it on task.
I mean, I was very upset. And then, first of all, now I know what they mean with canceled, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I finally
now there's
canceled.
some fucking ramifications.
So my psychiatrist was very nice. And so there's a thing called Vyance. Have you heard of that?
What is that? Is that a different
drug? It's a longer
drug?
it's a longer. Well, there's two ways of going.
Yeah.
I could go to the Ritalin family, which I don't think I want to go to.
They're not nice people, no.
Have you ever taken Ritalin?
No, I just know the family. It's just not a good family.
What is that song from the 50s? Ritalin, let me in, or 60s? Ritalin, let me in.
Don't know the reference that you're parodying.
Okay, it's longer. Okay, Ritalin is different family. I think I tried a Strattera once. It did nothing for me.
Yeah.
And I think Greg Fitzsimmons is on Ritalin.
Okay.
That's a nice.
That's nice of you.
I'm like, what am I at a party?
What's his erectile
tea?
dysfunction situation?
Hey, let's spill some tea, unnecessary tea. I hear Greg Fitzsimmons has mental health problems. Oh, really? Something serious? No, I just thought I should tell you that he has an array of them. because that's the new thing these days, is that the days of the Ricky Gervais, this guy's mental, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Those are falling by the wayside as we see that people have real
Only for
problems.
people who aren't as brave as Ricky.
Well, that you're making a good point. A lot of people are afraid to go after heavy people he thinks are too heavy. A lot of people are afraid to go
Once
after
they leave
them.
a playground, they are often.
Is that a weight joke?
No, it's a.
Oh, I see. It's
Wow, Jesus Christ!
That's one thing that made me not like.
It's really hard to be the fat guy who has to be sensitive about fat jokes to the skinnier guy. It's not a good comedy position, I have to say.
Well, that wasn't. That was my gripe with the CNN person who CNN will not let die. The guy who went
Jeannie
all over
Most?
the world. Can you do her voice? Because her voice is really the worst.
It's the worst of the best. Jeannie Most, CNN.
I think hell would be an endless loop of local, not even local news, national news. Their last tagline.
No, she knows how to take national news local, though, that Jeannie Most.
Did we close the bag that we were talking about?
I don't know. Was there a bag?
Well, Ritalin, let me in.
Yeah. So is that there's that big a shortage that you can't find Adderall anywhere?
Okay. In the old days, what I would do, because this isn't the first time it's happened.
The panic and run around in a circle thing.
Well, I did that yesterday before therapy.
Yeah.
Here's what I went through. If you want to know what I went through.
I guess. We have time, I guess. This is why I'm not a good therapist.
What was the question?
This is the thing you went through yesterday before therapy. Is what you were about to relate.
Okay. So, I went through. Oh God. Why?
Are you reliving it again? What's happening?
No, that's what I'm giving you the impression.
Okay, all right.
Oh God, why? Oh, that's all I need. Okay, but I was able to recover within 2 hours. But what I used to do in the old days,
was therapy within those 2 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yes.
Like having a panic attack right before therapy is kind of like setting yourself on fire right before a swimming lesson.
Apparently, I think
while it wasn't that funny, it was quickly constructed, and I deserve credit for that.
Well, who's that guy who died? It's not Vin Diesel, but Vin Scully.
Anything but.
I hear a lot of people say anything but, and I think I'm not saying it predates him. I think they're influenced by him. Anything but.
It may be. Whenever I hear it in a sports call, I pour a little out for Vin.
You do what?
I pour a little out for Vin.
Also, I want to thank you. I must say, I want to thank you for earlier this week solving a cooking problem.
Yeah.
And it wasn't one of those
fact that
things.
you're alive says I was right.
Oh, well, it brought up a whole thing. First of all, Susan said, well, what about leaving? So here was she goes, what about, the sherry, this dry sherry has been left. We've had it for a couple of years, right?
A couple of years old in a cabinet, dry sherry for cooking is the question.
Right. So I first go to my parents, and I realized, why am I using them? I said, my parents never refrigerated any of their liqueurs. How's that a defense? You know what I mean?
Right.
My parents had the same
they were wrong
liquor.
about almost everything, but they had this nailed.
Well, and they had everything that was expired for them.
Right.
And they were not drinkers.
They were never going back to it. That was really why it was in the liquor cabinet like that.
This is exactly true.
They bought it for a party they threw in 1968. Nobody drank at the party because it was all people like them. Then they put it in the liquor cabinet for their children to discover in their teen years and slowly nip at it. No,
it was me and my cousin who discovered it when we were very young. I think I've told this story. we're crawling in the upper part of the kitchen. I'm the older cousin.
Yeah.
So it's everything's okay. Don't worry about it. And we decided to take a sip of everything. A little sip of everything. Yeah. And then we just were vomiting for hours.
Yes.
Ruining my sister's party that she had with her friends.
Yeah. Graphically?
Well, no, just like she was. But they had everything. They had like rum, something Barbados, Mount Gay. Maybe these are more recent things.
Yeah.
But then they also had, my father was like, because remember, and the big argument, and I hope, my cousin Marsha is now listening to the show, so keep it clean. But I always recall this argument between her dad, Uncle Sandy, and my father over the Harvey's Bristol Cream.
Yeah. My
father asking for Harvey's Bristol Cream.
Right.
And Uncle Sandy say,
why are you
out
asking
of earshot.
for shit is basically right.
What?
Why are you asking for shit by name?
Well, that's the sad part is that my father, my brother heard my uncle and his wife, Aunt Ruth, talking. They didn't know that he was listening, and Uncle Sandy was going, "What? We made him money with this? I got to stock his Harvey's Bristol Cream." And I was just remembering that he had either Dubonnet or Dry Sack or something else that was equally bad.
All right. Like consumer level hoity.
Well, can you just imagine that neither one of these gentlemen know anything about alcohol or drinking, really.
Right.
Because they're Jews. Well, yeah, I think they're Jews. They're not just because they're Jews.
My father's defense, he knew quite a bit about drinking.
Well, your father was hip. I often wish my father had that. My father knew these guys like Harvey Kurtzman, but you didn't see him go to the Playboy Club with Harvey Kurtzman.
Right.
My dad. He had. I know you won't believe this, but he led a very, very. He wasn't out every night partying. My dad.
No.
So,
not like Frank Conniff's dad, who was at.
What was that about? What was Frank?
Who was at Toots Shores all the time. Hobnobbing with
I didn't know Frank Conniff's dad was was he a writer?
Yeah, a Pulitzer Prize winning newspaper man.
What's his name?
Frank Conniff.
Oh, he's Frank Conniff Jr.?
Yes.
How come I didn't know this? Is it not regional, right?
No, he was a New York sports writer, but he eventually he interviewed Khrushchev and won a Pulitzer for that, and he also interviewed Kennedy at one point, and
so that no one
died young of a stroke. But
like too young, obviously.
Yes.
Why do I say things like that? Well, how old was it? 60.
I don't even know. I know it was like when Frank was like a young, like preteen, I think.
But I mean, this isn't always predictable. But you can see why Frank is interested in politics and things like that. It can sometimes happen that my dad was interested in. It wasn't a writer, but he was interested in politics.
Like Frank.
Sometimes it goes the other way.
Frank had like Don Meredith at the house.
Oh, it's so good. How come I don't hear these stories?
You should talk to Frank, perhaps.
Now, do you want to go to the question just in case
I think we should, before bangy gets batty.
All right. Now, this is funny. I wrote this yesterday. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you ready? I wrote it. Josh, do you have any music to cover? Do you have a thing called something that can cover up the... God.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle says, I'm watching Jeopardy, and Michael Strahan... I'm very sorry, because all I can think of is the pounding. I'm watching Jeopardy, and Michael Strahan...
There's not even any pounding happening yet.
I know, so there's no excuse for my actions.
It's impending impounding.
I always feel like I should attribute something to my inability to execute.
Why am I thrown?
I'm watching Jeopardy, and Michael Strahan is on. That's a hard name to say. Michael Strahan is on giving. It's not
really hard, very hard.
Strahan is on giving clues about skincare because he has a line of skincare. Who would buy that shit? Oh my God, pickles! What's happened to pickles? This is not a morning zoo shock jock show.
Yeah, I don't know this as Michael Strahan. I think I go straight to tooth gap when I think of Michael Strahan. Not
Right, he has a
not
tooth
some
gap.
sort of skin kind of thing.
And also, pickles. Are you African American or black?
I say you should sack dry skin with Michael Strahan beauty products.
That's true. It's very true. But I'm glad that she's ripping the cover off of peeling back the layers of the Michael Strahan skin.
So you're going with pickles and onions is what you're going for right there? Don't call me Boopsy, says Jelvis. Yeah. How do you feel about the nickname Ike? It would flow really well with Andy's nickname, dramatic increase in glucose. I think Jelvis is as far as I'm going down nickname lane.
Oh, are you kidding me? I think, first of all, I've turned around on my desire not to be a part of AARAP.
You're in now?
I'm not only in, I have a development deal. You know how long a development deal is? They said to me, we only do shorter because most of our people die.
Right.
I'm not really with them, okay?
Don't.
Dan Marsh says, hey guys, that's not the way he talks. Hey guys, what is an ideal day for you?
An ideal day. Okay. I wake up.
That's good.
I have some really good coffee. I go to my office and I finish a script. I finish a script and email it off to whoever.
Right. In other words, you're getting up just to put the finishing touches on something that's already finished.
Yes. Ba-bing, ba-bang, all done. Finish the script.
And is it one of the things where you...
A day before the deadline. How's this? This is a perfect day.
You know, and you say to Allison, honey, I'm glad that I gave it an extra day this time. Right. Just in case there's any finishing grammatical things.
But I didn't really need it because it's perfect.
That's an ideal day.
So that's just the beginning. That's just the morning, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you gave coffee a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I go to lunch with friends, a couple friends, faceless friends, nameless friends.
What?
Because I don't want to get. I don't want to get hung up. I don't want to get hung up on who the friends are. Is my point.
Oh yeah, that's it. I'm getting better at these type of things.
Yeah. I come,
but not Blue Jam. Not Blue Jam.
Not Blue Jam. No, that sucks now. Afternoon, I sit around for about an hour going, oh, it feels so good to get that script done. Oh.
You said what? Oh, just how great it is?
It feels so good to get that script done.
Do any of your friends call again to tell you they're crying and sobbing because of how brilliant it is?
No, it's because I act like I've been there before.
So you're the world's only secure writer? Is that who you are?
No, every writer feels good on the day the script.
Oh, that's right, the ideal day.
Yes. Then afternoon, I have a great idea for another project, and it's fully fledged enough in my head that I can put it aside until the script, this new script takes its, But I don't want any feedback on the script today. Because then, if it's bad, it ruins the day.
What if it's going to be compliments?
If it's but even if it's good and this is going to be huge, or we have a deal for you, then I start thinking about the project. I don't want that on the day you finish a script.
Interesting.
You just want. That's all you want.
Very controlling, ideal day.
Yes. Then dinner with the wife. Sweet, sweet love.
Oh my God! Do you have to talk?
She fades off to sleep. Now it's 7 p.m.
You have to get that joke in there. So at 6 o'clock, I make beautiful love to my wife. At 6:04,
5. All right, you beat me.
We're such hacks. I mean, I know I am.
What's your perfect day, Andy?
My perfect day is I get up, I take my Vyvanse. Extended stay.
Extended stay in your bloodstream.
And I go, and the perfect day is I take it in the morning, and then at the end of the afternoon, I go, you know what? I don't even need another Vyvanse. It's been so perfect. And I smoke pot. I don't know. You know what? Nobody can top your ideal day, so I'm not going to even try it. Your ideal day takes the cake.
Okay. F. Jack Barker says, was going to ask if you guys like submarine movies, but followed a link to Thought Spiral without the underscore in it, at Thought Spiral, that Andy posted. Way to go, Andy. And it's not the show. So anyway, come around 25 degrees to port and dive, Mr. Kindler.
All right, now wait a second. Now, you know what? I have the desire to click on that. Don't do that, right?
No, they've blocked us.
Are they that upset about it?
Yeah, apparently they've blocked us. They've blocked both the show and us individually.
I can't win even when I lose.
So thought underscore spiral people. That's how you get to us on Twitter.
They blocked us.
They blocked us. They were cranky.
How about and because what did we do that was so bad?
We apparently usurped their nom de life.
Boom. And are they a company that makes spirals?
I have no idea. They blocked me. They blocked me. I have no idea. How would I know?
Someone needs to get to the bottom of this.
I was going to DM them and make restitution, but too bad.
Stephen Elton Yates says, I get such nachas when one of my queries elicits some of that sweet thought.
You can hear the banging. I know it's not quite as bad on my earphones.
TS banter. How many pillows do you typically sleep with? I sleep with 2, but I think I only use 1.
I'm a 2-banger all the way. I use them both fully with my head sandwiched between them.
Now let's read the rest of the questions as if we're harried.
Chris Wood says, did you know that Bob Dylan appeared in an episode of Pawn Stars? Chumley stalks Dylan outside his hotel in an effort to get an album signed for the store. Quite a get. How many walk-on requests does Thought Spiral field per week? I did see that Dylan appearance.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing. It happened.
I stopped watching.
I was playing in Vegas, and this fat guy with a camera crew came up to me and said, "Hey, Bob, will you sign this?" And I said, "Well, I don't want to look bad on Pawn Stars."
Was he gracious on Pawn Stars?
I was gracious enough to sign.
Oh, I keep forgetting that you
Yes,
know
please,
Bob Dylan.
buy in.
Stupid.
Buy
into the bit, right? And now you're mean and annoyed, Bob Dylan. That's right. Who did you think I was? Woody Guthrie, stupid? Okay, I have to tell you something that made me a little upset, and then I'll go back.
Okay.
I love Ari Melber. He had Stephen A. Smith on as a guest.
Yeah.
What universe do I need to see Stephen A. Smith talk about any? I don't like him talking about sports.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Jason, the Wrath of God. Oh, by the way, Jason, I did get I still have not responded, but I do want to do his show because I'm not a monster. Jelvis, Spike, how do you feel about experimental documentaries? The kind that have zero narration or something like Koyaanisqatsi.
I was hoping you'd click into that word by the end to get your Miller in.
Well, Dennis Miller said Koyaanisqatsi. And then David Letterman said it's Koyaanisqatsi. All right, blew it anyway.
Hold on one sec.
Sure.
Hold on one sec, sorry.
Yeah, we'll hold on.
Clyde. It's chaos here now.
Actually, I just want to say I love the actual Koyaanisqatsi, if I'm saying it right. I love that movie when it came out.
Yeah, it's hard for me to think of it as a documentary, really. As you know, I do feel like it's more of an art film, but I guess it technically is a documentary. But it's all in the doing. I don't have any hard rules. I'm not. You asked about zero narration, and narration's certainly not a prereq.
A prereq, right? Yeah.
But every documentary has a mission, as far as I'm concerned, and it's to find the form that tells the story you're telling the best.
Yeah. Well, I also don't imagine that you'd ever say, I am against experimental.
But I mean, the flip side of that is I'm not a patient watcher of things either.
Right. You're not watching alternative film like. You never saw Flicker, did you? It was an experimental movie where they show light going through the frame.
No.
I saw that on Cinema 101 at SUNY Binghamton in 1975. and then people could say, "What are you doing, Josh?" I'm playing the dumb guy.
All right.
So anyway, I'm all for it. Now, take it away, Josh.
I may have to move downstairs at some point here, but
Yeah.
we have that option.
Do you want to say do that now? Because, okay, let's see. Go.
Well, the problem is Allison has a Zoom meeting she has to do, so I don't want to be loud next to her Zoom meeting downstairs. So
No, I understand that.
it's a bit of a quandary.
And you also don't want to edit forever.
It's true, but that's kind of silly. That's kind of silly. I'll admit. All right. A third Jew says every so often the theme song from Hello Larry pops into my head. No, we can't do that. We can't do
Can't do it.
All right. And we're back. A third Jew says every so often the theme song from Hello Larry pops into my head. Do you guys remember that McLean Stevenson vehicle or the song? What were your favorite TV themes from the set late? Let's do this in parts here. Do I remember the Hello Larry theme? I remember part of the Hello Larry theme. I remember where and Portland is a long way from LA. A long way. Hello Larry, hello Larry. Ba-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. A long way. Hello Larry, hello Larry. That's what I kind of remember.
My dad's name was Larry, so for a second I thought you were trying to communicate with him.
But I do remember that show with McLean
Of
Stevenson.
course, everybody does.
Joanna Gleason, young Kim Richards.
Kim Richards.
I think future housewife of Beverly.
Oh, wow. She's on. Okay. I didn't know she was on that
Also
one.
the girl.
Oh, she was on Housewife on the Prairie,
Also the
right?
girl from, no, she was in Escape from Witch Mountain.
Oh, wow.
And then the other part of the question is, what was your favorite TV themes from the late 70s, early 80s? Cotter, WKRP, Greatest American Hero, a fourth thing. You Make My Mondays. Cotter's a great one.
I love Cotter.
WKRP is a great one. Greatest American Hero is a great one. You got to give it up for it. I would add, instrumentally, the best would be probably Sanford and Son.
Taxi.
Taxi's a great instrumental.
Schmickadink.
And then Barney Miller is what you're thinking of.
Oh, Barney Miller.
Yes.
That goes.
Which I was going to get to. Doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, doo, doom,
Dum,
doo, doo,
bum, bum.
doo, 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 ba-ding. Do, 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 do.
That was good. I appreciate that one. Well, I also love this one. Doo-boo doo bang, schmaggy dee boo, schmiggy dee bang, schmoopy dee boo, bang. Who could bookie backy bookie boo?
A great one, for sure.
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart, a great one. That was instrumental.
That's another instrumental.
Odd Couple was a great one.
Odd Couple is great. And also, I even loved Green
You know what it
Acres.
was, Andy?
Just
It was a goddamn golden age. Back when they didn't have to sell every fucking millisecond of the time to the the advertisers, so you had a minute to sing a song.
And was it so bad to have a melody? Was that wrong?
It was not wrong.
Gilligan's Island doesn't hold up.
It does as a form, though.
It does as a form.
It hasn't. That narrative form is very useful. We used it in Mystery Science Theater.
Oh,
Set the premise up.
yeah, it does. It definitely does better than. I mean, it's like if I had been at that meeting, I would have made it more cerebral, and Sherwood Schwartz would have said, "No, come on,
Get the fuck out of here," he'd say.
get the fuck out of here."
Go back to Northern New York College, wherever you went.
Okay, I had one more thing to say, and the thing was, that's it. All right, I must have messed up somehow.
I think you can all be happy I didn't sing my way through each of the listed theme songs, too.
True.
Just a few.
Oh, I was going to say Green Acres is funnier. Green Acres, I like the song better than the show.
I never got to the show as a kid. I just stopped. I
kept
did listen to
thinking-
the song, and then I walked away.
Kilmark says, "Hi guys, last week Josh said that Billy Joel wasn't on his Mount Rushmore of songwriters. Really? I wish I had been there when you said that. Who get the joke there?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, because you were. And
I was
and
there.
remember nothing.
I remember nothing. Who it is? The doctor said it definitely is dementia.
Really?
Or you're the stupidest person he's ever met, he said to me. Is that right? If I had to guess, I'd say...
All right, go back.
Okay.
You've lost the flow of this. Let me pick it up, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Hi, guys. Last week, Josh said that Billy Joel wasn't on his Mount Rushmore of songwriters. Who is? If I had to guess, I'd say Costello, Dylan, McCartney, and David Byrne. Was I close? Andy, keen for your thoughts, too. Also, it was Joe Klecko.
Well, thank you for the Joe Klecko. Somebody else, I believe, who seems to do more of a sous vide, maybe I pointed that out as well.
Yeah.
Thanks. Props to sous vide. I'm interested that why would someone say, but Humock, I'm interested seriously. You say McCartney, but you mean the Beat. You mean Lennon McCartney, he means, right? He's not saying like, and when the cupboard's bare.
Well, he's saying my. First of all, he's asking me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll stay out of this.
He's guessing my Mount Rushmore would be Costello, Dylan, McCartney, and Byrne.
Right.
I would pull out Dylan, first of all, and I would put Paul Simon in that slot.
You mean you'd add him to the slot?
No, I would take Dylan off my Mount Rushmore.
No, you would not do that.
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying this is my personal Mount Rushmore. This isn't for the nation.
Okay.
This is me.
It's not.
This is me. If I had to go, you can never listen to Paul Simon again. You can never listen to Dylan again. Bye, bye, Baba. Bye, bye, Bob.
What? What do you say? Bye, 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 bye,
bye, bye, Bobby. And David Byrne is the fluid one. Well, I mean McCartney, yes. I'm going to just say that's a totem for the Beatles.
Okay.
But even if not, I mean, Paul McCartney has written a lot of great songs mixed in with a lot of shit in the last 40
Yeah, no, well, he's a genius.
He is a genius songwriter. He is. And David Byrne, it's a Randy Newman, David Byrne.
Yeah.
Please.
It's very hard, these questions. I mean, there's so many people I think.
But you try to take them seriously for the people.
Yeah, but there's also Lucinda Williams. But the thing is, I can't do it. I can't do it because
it's personal. It's personal. It's not, if I was to go, who are the greatest songwriters? It's probably a different list of 4.
Right.
Who scratches my itch goes on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, because we're not doing any of the brill building people.
So who's your 4 then? Mr.
It's really bad with me. I can't. It's like the same things keep happening to me. I just start to say the early groups I liked, and I don't understand how I answer questions because they don't seem to. Because we still nice and young.
All right.
REM.
BD West says
okay, go ahead.
All right. BD West says my first 4 concerts were respectable. Says he. The Who, The Stones, The Dead, and Frank Zappa. The same could not be said for my first cassette tape, John Denver, and my first LP, Bachman Turner Overdrive. Question. Third thing. In my defense, I was 8.
I don't have a problem with John Denver. I think he was a great song. I love John Denver.
Yeah.
Even now, I love John Denver. Beautiful songs.
There's your Mount Rushmore.
He's the alternative's answer to Christopher Cross.
What was your?
I don't know anything about BTO.
What were your first 4 concerts? I don't know if I can do all 4 in my head, but
Grateful Dead, but that's already in college. I didn't go to any concerts. Loggins and Messina, the Grateful Dead, and then the Grateful Dead.
Gotcha.
And then David Bromberg and. I didn't do anything in high school. I saw nothing. I went nowhere in high school.
I'm trying to think. My first, these are just concerts without parents, basically, is my guideline here. Because my parents actually took us to some cool things.
That is great. Again, your father was a drinker, and he was hip.
I got to see Andre Segovia when I was a little kid.
That had to be good.
No, I didn't appreciate it, but sure.
Okay. Hey, Andre, Segovia already. It's Josh.
No, and I've probably told this before, but the whole thing the one thing I knew about Andre Segovia going in, besides that he played guitar, was that he would legendarily would stop playing if someone coughed and start over. And so that's what I was tuned into. And this was Minnesota in the winter. So people were coughing all over the fucking place. I'm like, what he's not stopping.
Oh, so he realized, did he do any of it?
No.
None of it, right? He's
it was just legend. It was just
not a
legend.
character.
Yes.
He doesn't smash his piano. Oh, is it piano or guitar? That's how little I know.
He was a classical guitarist.
Oh, then I'm done. Who am I thinking of? Who plays the guy with the big flourish? Eichmann?
Liberace?
No.
Jerry Lee Lewis?
No, he was like the Borodetsky and Dance number 3. He's like one of these really. That's it. Yeah. Vladimir Horowitz. Thank you. Good job.
My first concert was Styx. I'm not proud of that. But I was 12. It was my 12th birthday. And it was the Kilroy Was Here tour. So there was a rock opera element to it.
Were they a terrible band? Because I thought they were.
Yeah.
Why are they named Styx? Are they named after the River Styx?
They are named after the River Styx, but they weren't hard enough to live up to that moniker. It's a heavy metal name for a not so heavy metal group.
Well, is the River Styx like?
But some people
would
tell you Dennis DeYoung and his softness ruined Styx.
I see. Is that like a well-known thing?
Well, for Styx heads or whatever we're called.
Now, how do REO Speedwagon people defend themselves? But
I did proudly learn how to play "Come Sail Away" on the piano as a kid.
Oh, which group is that?
That's Styx.
I'm sailing away, set an open course for the virgin sea, 'cause I've got to.
I should probably not sing so
loud. I like that song. That song
my
I don't
wife
hate.
is on a business Zoom down the hall. So.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Come
that song
sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. That one.
I don't know why I joined in there. It's very bad of me, but that was unbelievable. I'm still embarrassed by Loggins and Messina.
Yeah, I don't think you should be.
I'm actually embarrassed where, why didn't Kenny Loggins stay more with this Messina stuff instead of going with the bum poop schmoop schmoop?
I think it's because he wanted to make millions upon millions of dollars and not share them with Messina.
Andy, BG West says, Andy, please bring the funny. More Uncle Funny, please. Uncle Funny. Who's Uncle Funny?
Isn't it?
Uncle Funny.
Your lovable Twitter character.
Hey, did you get, you're going to get, where are you going? I'm going to get a haircut. Whoa, why don't you get them all cut? Get them all cut at once. Uncle Funny is back. But I would not pull my fingers.
That's him, officer. That's the man who took my nose.
I know I would be Uncle. I know am Uncle Nichols. I don't see how I'm any different than the Uncle Nichols from that Woody Allen movie. You remember me, Andy Cap. That's how you remember me. Well, I'm not that bad. Will Pfeiffer. It's not the real Will Pfeiffer. Parody. Just wanted to make sure Spike is aware of this new book, which apparently is exactly what it looks like. Transcriptions of conversations you can get for free online. I cannot believe this.
It's the Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee book.
Are you telling me that you go into that book and they just have the transcripts of the stupid show?
It would seem so, yes.
How much money do these assholes need to make? I don't think they're going to make money on that one.
Jerry Seinfeld will find a way to make money.
I'm offended by that.
Why?
Not as offended as I am by Jimmy Dore, but still. No, I don't care. I really don't care. I do care. Okay. Well, didn't Steve Martin, he made his tweet book? He just stapled his tweets together and he made a book?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. Joshua Cohn says, Jelvis, I saw your recent tweet about Warren Zevon. Would you be so kind as to serenade your listeners with a few bars of Desperados Under the Eaves? That's a tough song. It goes all over the place chord-wise.
I don't even know if I know that.
I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel. I was staring at the bottom of my coffee cup. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. You can do anything.
And if California falls into the ocean, like the mystics and statistics say it will, I believe this hotel will be standing until I pay my bill.
Wow, you really... I wish I...
Did that even evoke Zevon?
Is that what?
Did that even evoke Warren Zevon for you?
Well, I have to tell you that it's one of these things where I'm embarrassed again because I am a huge Warren Zevon fan, but I know Sentimental Hygiene, I know most of the hits, but I don't know Desperados Under the Eaves.
What are the hits? What are the hits?
Bum Bum. Well, the one is like everything off of that album that has...
Excitable Boy.
Excitable Boy. Everything off the album, I know.
Okay.
And Letterman got me into him. Like, I mean, wasn't even that aware of him. And I also love Hit Somebody. I know his last album very well.
Yeah.
And his song about the Canadian guy who wants to be he wants to score goals, but he's an enforcer. And David Letterman's on that song. Hit Somebody. No?
I don't know that one.
Oh, God, that's really sad. No, it's sad that I go on and on like a moron. Dan Marsh says, what was the longest stretch you did on the road without returning home, and how was that experience? Well, I never did one that was just like never coming home, but I was on the road I could be on the road for 3-4 weeks at a time. Easy.
Yeah.
But nothing that was like 6 months.
Yeah, it's about the longest I was ever away. It's about 3 weeks. And I can't tell you, the experience wasn't that much different than, the blur of coming home for 2 days and leaving again either. So.
Yeah, it's so weird because 1987 to 1992, I was on the road like, I think 40 weeks a year, but it doesn't feel anything like a rock and roll tour would be. Yeah. You know what I mean? In other words, I don't feel like I've ever been a road, like that's hard life, like just being a touring musician type of thing.
Yeah, but being a touring comic is too.
But you don't have all the equipment. It's not quite as bad. Well, I don't know why I'm saying equipment, but I'm saying like you
also don't have a family around you.
That's true. I don't know why I get in my mind I have to start to compare two things. What's the point?
Andy Kindler, defender of musicians and fat people.
So stupid.
Dave Slusher says, Spike, thank you for the birthday cameo wishes for my kid. You have more reasonable rates and higher quality videos than the Corn Kid. Don't worry about the axes. They throw them at targets, not actually at each other, allegedly. There was something with axes in your cameo, apparently.
Yes. The kids for a birthday were going to be throwing axes.
Ah.
So when you include that information to someone who has OCD, he's going to talk about it.
How old was this kid that they thought Andy Kindler would be a birthday present?
Well, it's one of these kids who cried for a couple hours, and they said, and then now you'll see what you'll get next year if you continue to be an inferior kid. No, I'm very popular. No, I can't say I'm popular because I'm not popular with the kids who were kids when I was on Wizards of Waverly Place.
There's the connection.
That ship is... Gotcha. That's not the connection.
I was trying to help.
Well, I don't know why people... I had fun doing that one. And by the way...
Did you dress up like a wizard?
I usually do. No, I have that backdrop. Thanksgiving is coming, Joshua. I just want to say, Andy Kindler, that a lot of people say, why are you charging so little? I don't know. But hop on that train. $35. I'll do anything for $35 that doesn't require leaving the house.
Christopher Citro says, in the final episode of Police Squad, Leslie Nielsen is undercover as a hack nightclub comic. That's when the guy looks up at her and says, lady, I don't think I can take 67 more of those. If you were acting in the episode, what street joke punchline comes to mind? I always go with make up your mind. I got to adjust the chair.
Hey, if I didn't need, I like to do talcum powder if I can.
You always do. He had a hat.
He had a hat. It reminds me now that I never saw that all the way through. It is if I assume it's funny pretty much all the way through.
It's it's airplane funny. If you
Right.
if you like those jokes, then there's lots of them there.
Yeah. What are you, a politician?
No, I just want to keep going.
All right. Kevin, I know because we have another area. Kevin, your genial host, says, when does Thought Spiral, the movie, get announced, and who gets cast as Andy? You may be joking, Kevin, but we have been pitching this
That's the
idea.
script I was talking about finishing by my perfect day.
And it's all kinds of great things like close up, telephone, text to Josh.
The fact that the fiddling horse exists,
Right.
pretty much says, pretty much puts a kibosh in any calls for a Thought Spiral movie.
Well, I think people
Both fulfills and repels
Yes.
at the same time.
We will always point people to that when they ask, why don't you guys do more things?
All right. That's why. Samuel Trademark Lechnier says, first time, long time. As a Bernie bro, Andy and I don't quite see eye to eye on select political ideals. But after discovering him on Todd Glass's podcast years ago, I have nothing but respect and admiration for him and his comedy. Anyone you both feel the same about?
Well, that's very nice, and I appreciate that. It's like it's so difficult in a way because people liked Bernie who just liked Bernie, and then, but then there became a whole thing. I would hope that we could all put that behind. I really do hope we can all put the Bernie stuff behind. I mean, I want the Bernie people to vote for Biden in the next election and stuff like that. And thank you for the respect. But what does that mean? Anyone you feel both the same about? About what? What are the two things?
Say again.
He says, anyone you both feel this. Oh, both feel the same about.
Yeah.
That we love, that we both love.
That we love but don't like their politics.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think there's anybody who I love that is like a Trump guy.
Yeah.
Maybe the old days before Trump, maybe.
Probably, yeah. I'm thinking the old
You love
days,
P.J. O'Rourke.
or Larry Miller,
Larry Miller would be
who
example.
became pretty darn good, pretty darn conservative.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like I don't know that he defended Trump. That would be bad.
No, I don't know either. Actually, the last time I saw Larry Miller was the night Trump was elected.
Oh my God! What,
We
I
were
don't
at
remember the viewing
I
party.
was at an election viewing screening party, and he and his wife were there, and that was the last time I've seen him.
Oh well, was he happy that Trump got elected?
No, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
We never even.
Nobody was.
I mean, anyone with a brain.
Nah.
One-Sided War says, Josh, love all your a cappella creations. Why, thank you. I'm always hearing a new layer I hadn't noticed before. For us non-musical types, how do you know when you need to add more, and more importantly, when to stop adding?
I think you should answer this one.
Thank you. The stop adding is easy because you just go until it doesn't feel hollow and empty. As far as that's how I do it.
Right.
And you never quite know what that thing is going to be. Is it missing rhythm? Is it missing?
Are we talking about your love life?
Yes, we are. But it's all instinct. I mean, that's really the answer. I start usually with a bass line, and it's like the first thing I hear in my head becomes the next thing I record.
I'll tell you what he does. He takes one of my amazing ideas during the show, and he rips me off like Morris Levy did.
Yes.
Well, I love everything you do, Josh. I love them.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love your voice, and I love you as a man. Richard Cole says, hey there, Spike. That's me. I tried LSD about 10 or 25 times. I tried LSD about 10 or 25 times I wasn't laughing at the pounding. I was laughing at the joke of I tried LSD about 10 or 25 times in my early 20s. Mushrooms upset my stomach, so I only ate those about 5 times. Do you know how many times you tripped on acid and other psychedelics? Hi, Josh. Thanks for the dating advice. What was your dating advice?
It was complicated.
Oh, so here's the thing. I did it a lot of times. I would say over 100, definitely over 100, maybe 200 times.
Wow.
I had bad trips, and even after college, I had bad trips. And sometimes I would have a bad trip on mushrooms. I would like to try it again with like in a therapeutic situation at some point, because they're supposed to be good for therapy.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer, but I just don't want to say anything that's going to get people to say I listened to Thought Spiral 293 and I thought it was okay to start taking psychedelics.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. Please be careful.
Thank you. Thank you for covering our ass.
I keep thinking
I feel
we're
like
a
we
big
have
organization.
I feel like exposure free now.
Yeah, well, it's like we're worried that we're like McDonald's and we'll get sued.
Right. John Dunbar says, as part of my ongoing quest of learning Josh's opinion of all Minneapolis bands, I would like to know his thoughts on the Jayhawks and the Replacements. I have very favorable opinions of both bands. The Jayhawks album, Tomorrow the Green Grass, is definitely in my upper stack of albums. And the Replacements were cool, and I think they are sort of undercredited for the sort of grunge alternative music that came 8 to 10 years after them.
Well, my friend Les Ogilvy introduced me to both those bands. I don't know a lot about them, but I loved everything I heard from them.
Yeah.
But that was they were like 80s, like kind of country in the way Jayhawks are, not the Replacements.
Yeah, Jayhawks.
Am I wrong about the Jayhawks?
Yeah, Jayhawks are like, they call it Americana, I think.
Which I love. I mean, I have no problem with anything that's country. Some people do.
I highly recommend that album, Tomorrow the Green Grass by the Jayhawks.
Oh, okay. I think okay. Jayhawks. You know, I listened to Procol Harum.
Yeah.
And if you look up Procol Harum, there's a lot of Whiter Shade of Pale, which is, to me, one of the greatest. It's still one of the greatest songs. But then the other stuff was a little bit harder to get into. And so I was wondering, you know nothing about them, right?
Beyond Whiter Shade of Pale and Gary Brooker, no.
Who's that? He's one of the guys?
Is
he around?
He's the organ player who played the line in Whiter Shade of Pale.
Oh, God, that's so great. Is he around?
Well, he was at the concert for George.
Oh. I don't know why I said that. Johnny Whoop says, what's the scariest / creepiest place you have ever been?
Operating room.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm...
As a patient, I mean.
What's the scariest? I don't know. That's a really tough one. I can't think of anything where I felt like I was going to die.
What about when you're getting mugged?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think of that as a place. Because that's like saying, like, at that time, 42nd Street and 8th Avenue was very scary if you were a 14-year-old kid wearing a medallion.
I saw Serpico, I know. Chaotic Neutral says, hey guys, I've been working on a joke about wokeness and could use some feedback. The shortest version is, these days I'm so careful about my language, I call my favorite potato chips flavor salt and vinward. No, because what you're doing is you're forcing people to say the N-word in their head to get the joke.
Well, if he's black, he can do it. You're not. I see from your profile photo that you could be black, and like now, how bad can this conversation now go?
I don't care. It's still not a good joke.
Oh, but I think it's even like, I don't think you can. I'm against those. I wouldn't go that route, right? I'd be very, very. Well, you'd have to have the greatest stroke in the world to want to spurn people to say that.
Yeah, and you're saying this isn't that.
It's not terrible, but I think it could be thought of as being. I just think the subject matter I just stay away from it because I feel like, what could it gain me? Well, I don't have a desire to, but I know chaotic neutral, you have the right to push the envelope.
You really made him uncomfortable, chaotic neutral.
I'm sorry about this. I went through the whole thing because it looks like he's black from his, and then it's like, what do you mean that he looks like he's black? Because he has a black mask on, you Jew? I'm talking to myself now. All right, let's move on. I'm very sorry, chaotic neutral. I didn't mean for it to go into that area. And I love you.
Eastside 76 says, why does Leno always look like he's sorry he is actually Jay Leno in every picture? By the way, one more accident and he may have to dip into that Tonight Show money.
I'll take that joke as being okay. I'm very loath to do things about Jay Leno now because I feel like now it's piling on in a way.
Yeah. Well, he just broke his collarbone, ribs, and kneecaps in a motorcycle accident.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's what this is apropos of.
Are you joking? He just had an accident.
Yes.
Is he okay?
Well, he's going to work this weekend. Because he's a fucking maniac.
He broke what?
He broke ribs, his collarbone, and his kneecaps. But I'll be at the Molson this weekend. Because people want to see this fucking disabled 72-year-old man hobbling around going, So, how about this George Santos? Oh, God, I'm gurgling blood. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that you would have to think now that, well, you can't think of it like, who's the guy who kept crashing the planes?
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I mean, that got weird, too, after the third or fourth. But I mean, how did it happen? I mean, it's just regular.
Apparently, he was on a 1940 Indian or something, and started smelling gas, which he says, worries him at this point. So he cut back through a parking lot where there was a wire strung across it, didn't see it, and got clotheslined off his bike by a wire.
I can't go on. I can't go on with this one.
Eastside 76 follows up with Jay Leno also has the hugest fucking head in history. My brother and I used to call him Mac Tonight in honor of the McDonald's commercial where a moon would play on a piano.
He does have a big head. He does. Sometimes people say you have a big show business head, but he actually has he can back it up.
Yes. He is like a mascot of Jay Leno at this point.
He did really say he's going out this weekend, though, right?
Yeah, he did.
You can't go out if you broke your kneecaps. That means you need to have 2 knee replacements, right? Or maybe not.
No, I cracked my kneecap once.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so it's just a regular crack. It will heal back.
Presumably, yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm 72 years old. Oh, fuck.
Why is he on these aren't these bikes, shouldn't they be illegal? They're polluters?
No, it was nothing about the bike. It was the fact that there was a fucking wire strung across the parking lot that he ran into.
Wait a second. There should not be a wire there, right?
Well, it's someone's parking lot, so they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Why is he going into their parking lot like that?
Because he was cutting back to take the injured motorcycle home.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I would be dead if that happened to me. There would be no story, and Andy Kindler says he'll be back to work. How do you not die from being clotheslined off of he had a helmet.
Because this is like a T2. You can't hurt him. You can knock him down, but you can't hurt him. I'll be back at Hermosa this weekend. Oh, God.
Seth Dick III says, Andy, can you tell the story of you and your buddy driving by the church that was offering money to converts? I said, well, thank you. That is a very interesting story. My friend and I, Shmoymi, we were driving down the street. He's a Jew. I'm a Jew. So we go and we see this thing on the church says, we'll pay. This church pays for converts, $50. So Shmoymi says to the other Jewish guy, hoy, 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 go in there and get the $50 and see what's happening and see if you can get the money because you're a Jew and you love money and you love it under any premise. So he goes in, he's not there for an hour, he's sitting there for an hour. He goes out the third hour and Shmoymi goes, did you get the money? And Shmoymi says, Is that all you people think about? I love it. Oh, gosh.
Yoshi, yo, aho.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yoshi Yamamoto. Yoshi Yamamoto. Yoshi Yamamoto. Yoshi Yamamoto. Hey!
I can see how Nazis are formed. You start chanting and then you don't know what you're doing.
Yoshi says that Jay Leno fell off his motorcycle and broke a bunch of bones, including both kneecaps. We're one or two more Wile E. Coyote incidents away from him becoming a TikTok favorite.
I just can't even believe it. I can't believe it. You know what? I probably, if I was submitting questions, that would be my question. It would be like, if that happened, did you see this?
This fucking, I don't know. The guy is, he just hates himself. He hates that he's a comedian so much, I think. I feel like he just does not think it's an honorable profession. And so he has to treat it like this blue collar factory job that it's honorable to be at every day of your life.
That's right, and he wants to get attention for it.
At NBC, he came to work in work clothes every day and the denim. It's like he's just trying to pretend. Like missing a show for falling off a motorcycle would be some sign of weakness. No, I gotta go to work. You go to work, you get checked, you go home. That's it. There's no out here. You do your job.
Right,
Jack. Oh, God. I'm gurgling blood Jack, again. Oh, God. And there's blood coming from every part of my body, but I'm here.
A week from now, he's like, yeah, so I got this thing was strung across. I thought maybe Brooke Shields was involved.
All right, we're hopping to the gram.
All right.
Dan Murphy.
Oh, should I do it too? Or we're good?
If you'd like.
This week.
Now that Andy has escaped COVID while filming, does he feel tremfiant?
Oh, no, but I do want to say there's one thing that I think is happening now in those drug commercials that drive me, and I like TV, but white people dancing. White older people dancing is the most disgusting thing in these commercials. And Susan pointed out that they're not dancing to actual music because they're not going to be using an actual song that they have to pay for. So they look just crazy.
I feel free. There's a skin that's on me. Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing but the skin that's a little plan. Nothing is everything.
Oh, ho. Whoa, whoa.
Dan Wade says Earth, Wind, and Fire and Water, all of which have taken turns destroying my roof in the last 20 years. The thought of a 30-year-old roof is staggering. This comment is sponsored by the Oklahoma Tourism Bureau.
I never thought about that. So in other words, it's just crazy to have to think of, you have to replace roofs.
Well, if you live somewhere with all the elements constantly.
But we don't. We were told we wouldn't have them.
That's right. That's why I can have ceramic tiles.
Yes. Oh, no. I used to go out. You know how I used to fix my roof when I first got to LA? I used the Flex Seal family of products.
Yes. I actually had a Flex Seal product that I was trying to seal a window with during it.
Is it pretty tight? Is it good?
No, it worked fine, but it was a fool's
errand.
A fool's gasket.
It was Greg Ray.
It wasn't the right thing.
It was a Greg Ray bit. If you can't fix something with duct tape, then it's broken.
Greg Ray. Dan Wade is back to say, and he always writes that people now speak in feed me my own syntax.
Oh, good.
Dan Wade is back to say, Andy, what do you think of the Preservision commercials? I walk around the house saying, Preservision, Preservision, Preservision.
Oh, I haven't seen them. Is this like Invisalign? Are they invisible glasses?
I don't know.
What are the Preservision? I've heard that. He told me to.
Perush says...
Perush says on fire.
I am Perush, he says. That's good. He's confirming.
Where's he been? Where the hell has he been?
He was here last week. Shut up.
Okay.
Now for the question. Which was worse? Josh missing his George Belzer TV interview due to Yom Kippur? George Belzer is not correct, Perush.
I think it's Richard Belzer.
Due to Yom Kippur or Sandy Koufax missing the World Series? You know my theory. Fives Finkel should have been the rabbi in the Sandy Koufax movie. Well, you know what's weird is me missing that interview and Sandy Koufax missing the World Series resulted in us both going to the same synagogue.
Oh, is that true?
That's true. He was playing the Twins in that World Series and sat out a game in Minnesota.
And did you meet him?
No, because it was 1965 and I was not born for 6 years.
I met him then.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Liar!
You know what his problem was? He could not have the Tommy John surgery. They should have named it the Sandy Koufax surgery.
I don't know that he would have had it. I think he was just like, I'm good.
He's like, look, a Jewish man. We don't, I can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery if I've had any work done.
One of my favorite stories in sports is walked away at his peak.
That is so great. That is so, because all you do is you remember him dominating in every situation he was in.
Yes.
He was the best pitcher maybe of all time to that point.
That's what Jews say.
Don Drysdale was good too, but not as good.
Terrence Caulfield says, hey, Jelvis, I got an air fryer for Christmas. What should I air fry? So far, I've made Brussels sprouts and chicken. I would go with some of those, some frozen breaded snacks.
But wait a second, you're doing an air fryer.
Yeah.
Don't you want to have no fat?
Yeah, but you also want to get things really crispy. No, the actual thing I would try, the real test of air frying to me would be potatoes.
Do you have an air fryer?
I do not. That's why I'm only speculating.
Are they big devices too? Because Susan doesn't like too many contraptions.
They're not huge, no, but they're. Okay.
We have the world's smallest toaster.
Like toaster oven-ish size, probably.
Right.
I just got a really good toaster oven for the first time in years because Allison set our last one on fire years ago. And then she was like, you have to get regular toasters. And then finally enough of them broke in a row that I got it.
And so which one is it?
You know, I don't even know. It's
not a Sunbeam.
No, it's a Toshiba or a Panasonic. It's a
Toshiba.
It's very Japanese in its presentation and operation too.
Dennis Miller had a field day when Japan was a more powerful country. And she's got a Toshiba.
Wampus Reynolds says Television Savalas, a.k.a. Janus Films, a.k.a. Wampus. And then here's more syntax for me. Hey, welcome back, Wampus. We've missed you so much. Okay, back to Wampus's question. All in the question. What is the wildest place you've made whoopee?
In the butt.
Yeah, she actually did say...
In the ass?
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it never happened.
No, it actually happened. There is film, and I've seen it. And she looked like Roseanne. And she went...
In the ass?
Okay, but it wasn't shown on TV?
It was not, until years later on a bloopers show. Zeke Fossey says George...
That's a great lady.
Zeke Fossey says George W. Bush gave people nicknames as power move to hide his insecurities. Calling Andy by a nickname is lame. No one cares what I think, but here you go. Defending you. Zeke Fossey's got your back, Spike.
Why am I confused by that question?
Well, I think it's because people...
Is it Nixon? I thought it was George W.
No, George W. is what he said. George W.
Oh, he said, okay. I thought I heard Nixon. No, George W. was like, hey, Slam.
Yeah, I always see him as like, yeah, that's Ty Guy. Look at Ty Guy over there. Yeah.
Hey, Tiger's going, what do you got, Tiger? Why don't you just say you can't remember the names of the individual reporters?
No, I think there was also a diminishing of others, too.
Yes, yeah.
You know.
How's it going, Lefty?
Nice one, Scooter. You know, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Daisy Petunia says the older you get, the more you choose composure over chaos and distance over disrespect. You prioritize peace, mental health, and happiness over everything. Also, you can say pussy lickers, and some people will laugh.
That got me. I didn't know they were doing the old switcheroo at the end.
Switcheroo all the way. I felt it coming down Main Street.
I would like to live in a world where saying pussy lickers is not considered that it's something that we all say.
It seems like a peace offering more than anything.
Exactly.
Lap joint. And finally, Paul. And finally.
Here's the last letter. The last letter, sir.
Yeah, Dave. Last letter. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Oh, Paul, lap joint. Lap joint, says Paul. Lap joint wants to know something, Paul. Banga, banga, banga. Hey, guys, 6.7 A1C here. My doctor put me on Ozempic over a year ago, and later I find out I'm part of a trendy Hollywood fad.
That's true.
Has this ever happened to you? Unintentionally finding yourself in the cool kids club?
I don't know. Everyone's taking semaglutidine.
I was very, as a kid, I was very ahead of the curve with my earring.
Oh, yeah.
I got my earring at like 14, like at the end of a school year.
That is very brave.
And I was like one of a handful.
And your parents didn't care?
And then I came back that fall. Everyone had them.
Oh.
But my parents did care, but this was a turning point with me and my parents. It was pretty funny, actually. Cause I came to my parents, and just went, do you forbid me from getting an earring? That was how I posed the question. Do you forbid me from getting an earring? And they just broke down laughing because they knew I had them wired, because they weren't going to forbid me. I knew they wouldn't want me to or try to,
Oh, right.
So I just came straight at the final point of the conversation.
That's hilarious.
And after that, I pretty much had freedom to do anything I wanted. Became a comedian and toured the Dakotas as a teen.
Oh, Jesus. Having parents who listen to you in the moment and laugh. So nice. That's a great story.
Thank you. And that's a great show we just wrapped up there, Andy. If you'd like us to make more gleefully, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and support the show. Join in the glee. Andy's looking. I can see Andy's eyes going to the button and trying to think.
No, because I don't even try those.
There I was. Game 4 of the World Series.